better understand what's important for the lenders when they're looking at your underwrite. Is probably maybe the most important thing you should be paying attention to, because if it's important for the bank, it probably should be important to you. So what is that one item that the bank, one or two items that the bank looks at? And then maybe go through maybe the top 2 or 3, like exit cap and all some of the stuff, like a couple, 2 or 3 of your sort of your high level important items that are going through your model.
Yeah. So the big one that the lender looks at is this thing called DSCR, debt service coverage ratio. And what the lender wants to know is at the end of every month, after you've collected all of your rent, you've paid all your expenses, you have this bucket of cash left at the end of the month. Now you have to pay your mortgage. And what the lender wants to know is that you have the ability to pay your entire mortgage every month, plus have a bunch extra left over in case of an emergency, in case your rents fall, in case you have more vacancies than you expect, in case your expenses are higher one month. So they want to see that if you have X amount of mortgage due every month, they want to see the amount of cash you have left over to pay your mortgage is at least 1.2 times that. So let's say your mortgage every month is $100,000. The lender wants to see what's called a DSCR of 1.2 or $120,000 in your bank account at the end of every month. So that way they know you can pay your $100,000 mortgage and you've got $20,000 left over in case there's some emergency or in case you have a really bad month. And so that's the big number they look for. Now, everybody talks about the fact that lenders used to lend 75%, or even in some cases, 80% of the value of your property. And now these days it's 70% or 65% or even 55 or 60%. And so everybody's looking at the lenders and saying, the lenders are tightening up. The lenders aren't willing to lend as much as they were before. They're going from 75% loan to value to 60% loan to value. Well, the reality is the lenders aren't tightening up. The lenders use the same computations, the same metrics as they've always used. But the reality is at the end of the month, if previously interest rates were 4% and you owed $100,000 at the end of the month for your mortgage, well, today interest rates are 7 or 8%. So now that same mortgage is $150,000. So your $120,000 at the end of the month sitting in the bank account to pay the mortgage isn't enough to cover the mortgage anymore. So the lender says, I'm not going to lend as much money because they can't pay the mortgage. They don't have enough money coming in. So they will adjust the amount they lend you so that, again, you get back to that 1.2 DSCR. And oftentimes what we're finding these days is that what the lender is willing to lend you is somewhere in the 55 or 60 or 65% of the value of the property range. Now, if you have a property that's a cash cow, that's generating tons of cash, and you can cover a mortgage at 75% of loan to value easily, banks are still willing to lend 75% loan to value. They don't care. They just want to make sure you're making enough money every month that you can cover that plus have an extra 20% on top.
So if you enjoyed this clip and you want to see the entire episode, click here. And if you want to see other videos similar to this, click here.